Hello ma'am, I am Michael G. Fabian from BSN English 1B. Today, I will be explaining the following given questions in Module 2. Structural approach. The structural approach is an approach in the study of language that emphasizes the examination of language in very detailed manner. This strategy, which is considered a traditional approach, examines language products such as sounds, morphemes, words, sentences, and vocabulary. Among others, it also facilitates the process of learning language on the basis of structures. Now, let's move on to functional view or functionalism. Functionalism is an approach to language development that focuses on the relationship between language form and social meaning. According to Emmett, language is not so much a system of rules as posed by Chomsky, but a means of performing particular socially communicative functions. Functionalists believe that the communicative situation motivates, constrains, or otherwise determines grammatical structures, meaning that the language choices a child makes during development are heavily influenced by the functional purpose they serve. Functionalism sees functionality of language and its elements to be the key to understanding linguistic processes and structures. Functional theories of language propose that since language is fundamentally a tool, it is reasonable to assume that its structures are best analyzed and understood with reference to the functions they carry out. These include the task of conveying meaning and contextual information. The last view of language is called or can be called the interactional view. It sees language as a vehicle for the realization of interpersonal relations and for the performance of social transactions between individuals. Here, language is viewed as a tool of creation and maintenance of social relations. Interactional theories focus on the patterns of moves, acts, negotiation, and interaction found in conversational exchanges. This time, let me explain the following theories in language learning. Number 1, the behaviorist theory. The behaviorist approach was based on the idea that language is learned through observation and imitation. The theory states that we do not learn words and grammar because they are connected to meanings. Instead, we have mental concept of each word or concept. The theory of behaviorist language acquisition argues that children acquire language only due to their own active experiences and not by imitation or instruction. This theory is based on the idea that humans are unique in how they think and learn about new information. Number 2, the cognitive theory. A cognitive theory of learning sees second language acquisition as a conscious and reasoned thinking process, involving the deliberate use of learning strategies. Learning strategies are special ways of processing information that enhance comprehension, learning, or retention of information. This explanation of language learning contrasts strongly with the behaviorist account of language learning, which sees language learning as an unconscious, automatic process. Number 3, the constructivist theory. The constructivist theory is based around the idea that learners are active participants in their learning journey. Knowledge is constructed based on experiences. As events occur, each person reflects on their experience and incorporates the new ideas with their prior knowledge. The theory of constructivist learning is vital to understanding how students learn. The idea that students actively construct knowledge is central to constructivism. Students add or build their new experiences on top of their current foundation of understanding. If the basis of the constructivist theory states that students construct new knowledge on what they have already had, the entry point of their learning journey is of utmost importance. Number 4, social constructivist theory. Social constructivism is the view that learning occurs through social interaction and the help of others, often in a group. Social constructivism posits that the understanding an individual develops is shaped through social interaction. According to the theory of social constructivism, social words develop out of individuals' interaction with their culture and society. Knowledge evolves through the process of social negotiation and evaluation of the viability of individual understanding. Basically, every conversation or encounter between two or more people presents an opportunity for new knowledge to be obtained. The exchange of ideas that goes along with human contact is at play here. There are 8 parts of speech in English language. These are noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. I'm gonna start with noun. What is noun? A noun is a word for a person, place, thing or idea. Nouns are often used with an article the, an, but not always. Proper nouns always start with a capital letter. Common nouns do not. Nouns can be singular or plural, concrete or abstract. Nouns show possession by adding s. Noun can also function in different roles with a sentence. For example, a noun can be a subject, direct object, indirect object, subject complement, or subject of a preposition. Verbs. Verbs are words that show an action, occurrence, or state of being. Almost every sentence requires verb. The basic form of a verb is known as its infinitive. The forms call, love, break, and go are all infinitives. Almost all verbs have two other important forms called participles. Participles are forms that are used to create several verb tenses, forms that are used to show when an action happened. They can also be used as adjectives. The present participle always ends in ing, like calling, loving, breaking, going. There's also a kind of gerund that is identical in form to the present participle form of a verb. The past participle usually ends in ed, but many past participles have irregular ending like cold, love, broken, gone. Pronoun. A pronoun is defined as a word or phrase that is used as a substitution for noun or noun phrase, which is known as the pronoun's antecedent. Pronouns are short words and can do everything that nouns can do, and are one of the building blocks of a sentence. Common pronouns are he, she, you, me, I, we, us, this, them, and that. A pronoun can act as a subject, direct object, indirect object, object of the preposition, and more, and takes the place of any person, place, animal, or thing. Interjection. Interjection is a big name for a little word. Interjections are short exclamations like or ah. They have no real grammatical value, but we use them quite often, usually more in speaking than in writing. Conjunction. A conjunction is a word or phrase that connects words, phrases, clauses, and sentences together. The word and is commonly used example of a conjunction. There are two examples of how we can use a conjunction like and in both simple and complex way. In simple way, the flower is yellow and white. So the word and connects two adjectives, yellow and white. In complex way, the flower is yellow and it has a particular smell. So it appears here that the word and connects two sentences. Adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe the qualities or states of being of nouns. Examples are enormous, dog-like, silly, yellow, fun, fast. They can also describe the quantity of nouns, like many, few, millions, 11. Adverb. An adverb is a word that is used to change, modify, or qualify several types of words, including an adjective, a verb, a clause, another verb, or any other type of word or phrase, with the exception of determiners and adjectives that directly modify nouns. A good way to understand adverbs is to think about them as the words that provide a description of how, where, when, in what manner, and to what extent something is done or happens. Normally, we can spot an adverb by the fact that it is often ends in ly, but there are lots of adverbs that don't end in this way. Moreover, adverbs can be used in many combinations with each other. Preposition. A preposition is a word placed before a noun or pronoun to form a phrase modifying another word in the sentence. Therefore, a preposition is always part of a prepositional phrase. The prepositional phrase almost always functions as an adjective or as an adverb. Prescriptive grammar versus descriptive grammar. Descriptive grammar focuses on describing the manner how either native or non-native speakers use the language on a daily basis. Therefore, it includes a set of rules about language based on how it is actually used, not how it should be used. Linguistics often follow this approach to grammar, where they can study the rules or patterns that underlie the speaker's use of words and sentences. While a prescriptive grammar explains or rather prescribes rules on how a language should or ought to be used by the speakers. As a result, prescriptive grammar consists of a set of rules that teach the speaker the most accurate and the correct manner to use the language, highlighting what to use and what should be avoided, so that he can achieve that certain grammar and the language standard. Diachronic linguistics versus synchronic linguistics. Diachronic linguistics basically refers to the study of language through different periods in history. Thus, it studies the historical development of language through different periods of time. While synchronic linguistics, also known as descriptive linguistics, is the study of language at any given point in time, usually at present. However, this point in time can also be a specific point in the past. Thus, this branch of linguistics attempts to study the function of language without reference to earlier or later stages. Oral language versus written language. Oral language is designed to be listened to and to sound conversational, which means that word choice must be simpler, more informal, and more repetitive, while written language uses a larger vocabulary and is more formal. Thank you so much, ma'am.